pollution can affect our health in many ways. Numerous scientific studies have linked air pollution to a variety of health problems, including 1. Aggravation of respiratory and cardiovascular disease. 2. Decreased lung function. 3. Increased frequency and severity of respiratory symptoms such as difficulty breathing and coughing. 4. Increased susceptibility to respiratory infections. 5. Effects on the nervous system, including the brain, such as IQ loss and impacts on learning, memory, and behavior. 6. Cancer. 7. Premature death. Some sensitive individuals appear to be at greater risk for air pollution-related health effects. For example, those with pre-existing heart and lung diseases, for example, heart failure, ischemic heart disease, asthma, emphysema, and chronic bronchitis, diabetics, older adults, children. Air pollution also damages our environment. For example, ozone can damage vegetation, adversely impacting the growth of plants and trees. These impacts can reduce the ability of plants to uptake carbon dioxide from the atmosphere and indirectly affect entire ecosystems. In Resources, there is a chart titled Sources and Health Effects of Air Pollution for you to see and/or print. Air pollution consists of gas and particle contaminants that are present in the atmosphere. Gaseous pollutants include SO2, NOx, ozone, carbon monoxide, volatile organic compounds, certain toxic air pollutants, and some gaseous forms of metals. Particle pollution, PM 2.5 and PM 10, includes a mixture of compounds. The majority of these compounds can be grouped into 5 categories. 1. Sulfate. 2. Nitrate. 3. Elemental, black carbon. 4. Organic carbon. And 5. Crustal material. Some pollutants are released directly into the atmosphere. Other pollutants are formed in the air. Ground-level ozone forms when emissions of NOx and VOCs react in the presence of sunlight. Similarly, some particles are formed from other directly emitted pollutants. For example, sulfate particles are formed from complex reactions in the atmosphere of SO2 emissions from power plants and industrial facilities. Weather plays an important role in the formation of secondarily formed air pollutants, as discussed later in the ozone and particle pollution sections. EPA and states track direct emissions of air pollutants and emissions that contribute to the formation of key pollutants, also known as precursor emissions. Emissions data are compiled from many different organizations, including industry and state, tribal, and local agencies. Some emissions data are based on actual measurements while others are estimates. Generally, emissions come from large stationary fuel combustion sources such as electric utilities and industrial boilers, industrial and other processes such as metal smelters, petroleum refineries, cement kilns, manufacturing facilities, and solvent utilization, and mobile sources, including highway vehicles and non-road sources such as recreational and construction equipment, marine vessels, aircraft, and locomotives. Sources emit different combinations of pollutants. For example, electric utilities release SO2, NOx, and particles. Figure 2 shows the distribution of national total emissions estimates by source category for specific pollutants in 2010. Electric utilities contribute over 60% of national SO2 emissions. Agricultural operations, included in the Other Processes category, contribute over 80% of national NH3 emissions. Almost 50% of the national VOC emissions originate from solvent use, included in the Other Processes category. Highway vehicles and non-road mobile sources together contribute approximately 60% of national carbon monoxide emissions. Pollutant levels differ across regions of the country and within local areas depending on the size and type of sources present.